Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to the node.js Security Working Group meeting, the first meeting of March. So before it starts, does anybody have any announcement? I don't think so, right? All good? Yeah. So as usual, we go to the vulnerability review. But I looked into it and it's all good. No, nothing changed since last meeting. So we are good to go to our agenda. And the first item in our agenda is improve security working group scorecard. I will just move the add OSSF. Oh, actually, this is a new issue. Basically, I have created this issue based in the code scanning and the work that Ulysses and Thomas is doing, are doing. And well, there are let me share my screen. I guess that's a good one. Is that safe to share, Thomas? I think so, right?
I think I don't think there is much critical information in security tab.
Okay, so here we go. We go here to come on. Yes. We go here in settings and
No, in security.
secret. No, it's not this.
No, that's you are in the wrong tab.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Security and then code scanning.
Yeah.
And we have some review, some issues here that are, for instance, the first one is code review. The score is 8 of, it's normalized to 8, but I think it's 8 of 10, right?
Yes.
And
yeah, we can't really fix this. We just have to have for the score to be better. We just need to review before merging. It's
okay, but we do it, right?
Yeah. I guess not. If you say no, I think I guess I don't know. That's well. Maybe there is a problem with scorecard, but
I think it's a problem because I mean, first detected in this commit, right? And this commit,
maybe there's a bug, like it just maybe counts since we added the scorecard, maybe, or something like this. Or maybe. Yeah, I don't
okay,
really know.
so I think we need to adjust a few things, like make code reviews mandatory and enforce rules for administrators and code owners as well. So I think here in the branch, I guess, branches, we have just one rule and require a status check to pass before merging. So here is require pull request before merging, I guess, right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So yeah, require approvals of one. And I think this...
Sometimes we have to be cautious because sometimes you can lock yourself if we have not enough reviewer or anything like this. But I think it's better like this. Yeah.
Okay, so if I save this, okay. Oh my God. Let me stop sharing very quickly. There's one Bradley in the attendees, right? Hello, Bradley.
Hi.
Yes, Legger, you can keep your name there because you are an attendee, so no problem. Just okay. Sharing it again. Here we go. So now the branch rules were applied. So if we go to these again, maybe. let's scan 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So we need to wait.
Well, we need to wait. Yes.
Oh, maybe it's because or workflow is this one, right? Scorecard.
Probably you can
Yes.
launch manually the action. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to include the workflow dispatch here to bump it again, I guess. Is this one right?
Yep, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be something like workflow dispatch. And make sure to not commit to main. Yes. So I hope you guys can review it very quickly so we can pass. Where is it? Yeah, here. Oh, thank you.
Give it quick approve.
Yeah, Thomas was quick. Okay, so now we can go to the actions, I guess. And maybe here we run the, but it's already running. So it might update the thing. How much time it takes? 1 minute. So yeah, we can keep going and then review.
Yeah,
again.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, we have a score of 8, so it's I will not say it's very good, but it's already okay, you know, even if it's 8. I guess we have like things like token permission it's more important, I
Okay.
think.
Okay. Yeah, so this issue is about like very simple things. Anyone can do it. It's a good first issue. So if you want to share on Twitter, like to get more visibility on this, to get more attendees, maybe this should be very simple and it will improve work.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not sure if it's that okay in case of Node, but the app security app application, the free application, it's capable to fix most of them automatically. So maybe for other repository, it could be a good solution, because it just do almost everything for you. It just pull request with fixing dependencies and fixing hash and things like this.
The Dependabot does it?
He also capable to add the Dependabot configuration. Yeah.
Oh, great! That's great. Yeah, if you want to make it, that's good too. All right. So moving to the next item of the agenda is assessment against best practices. Is the scorecard again, but is actually is the sorry I skipped one. Is automate security release process. I've been working on this. I have created a pull request, but it's just missing one thing, and that is to git release dash abort, abort and continue again, because once we stop to merge a few pull requests to the release branch, we need to continue. So it's still on draft because I have no time. I had no time to work on this, but I assume I'll be able to work on this in the next security release, which shouldn't be so far away. Okay, so the next one is assessment against best practice. They issue 859. So Thomas.
Yeah, I guess that's related to the work we are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, what we discussed, like we need to continue to work on on improving the score and see
Okay. There is something that we need to do in that issue, like, or it's completed.
I guess the original goal was to, you know, because I think the final goal is to improve Node.js itself. Um, but yeah, but not sure if this is the issue is useful if we keep this one. Maybe we can just maybe keep one issue. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I will wait for the next meeting so Ulysses can also talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he made something, and I think with the output of the action he created, we can close both issues. And keep just the one that I created to improve the scorecard, So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, by the way, we have the scanning run just run, and sorry, here security code scanning, and the code review is still high. That's weird, right?
Yeah, but I don't think the severity, it doesn't mean that our score is not great. Like we already have 8 in score, so it's not correlated to the score. It will not. That's not because we are going to get 9. It will not go low, So I just think I need to check why we have like 24 out of 13, but I think it will be okay when we are going to merge few more, and it will be okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, okay, let's move forward. The next one is this discussion about policy integrity. I think from since the last meeting, the only one that joined is Bradley. Bradley, do you want to talk about it, or do you think it
Yeah.
was?
So we made a little bit of a cross-reference issue with the single binary effort, and it seems like that shouldn't be too difficult just looking at implementation. I haven't really gotten involved. There is a crossover issue actually with the permissions model roadmap. One of the problems that is going to be faced is finding and locating the policy file to load when you execute a program. So Microsoft is looking at sidecar files. In particular, it wants a sidecar file for a certificate for their operating system integration, and it needs a policy file. And it needs both of those when you execute an entry point to any program under this plan of theirs. So it needs to locate the policy file. And that has been discussed in the past. I don't think it's been discussed in the last 2 years, but there's a big document that we could discuss over that, but I'm waiting for the permissions roadmap to really get into the nitty gritty of where these things should live and why.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But how is it different from any binary that reads from a file, like OpenSSL, for instance?
So it's not really any different. It's just it needs the location of the policy file. So policy file would be per application under Microsoft's plan. So if you have ESLint, it would have a different policy from, say, serve. And there are good reasons for that. In particular, you don't want to, say, let ESLint load network stuff. So you can just disable loading the net module at all and stuff like that. So
when you mean per application, it's like the binary contains more than one application, or
no? So Microsoft's plan is to ship a node binary that acts as normal. So you do node path to JavaScript file on the command line.
Okay.
And their node version is a hardened node version, which only enables the flags that force a policy to be required and force this certificate file also to exist.
Okay. It shouldn't be that difficult, right? Like it's just about
No,
standardization.
Yeah, this is purely about where to locate these files. It is
Okay.
not a difficult task, but those discussions actually proved pretty lengthy around 2 years ago. There's a several page document I can dig out of Google Drive, and I will when we get to the permissions discussion.
Okay.
Because it's the same issue that we're going to have with policy and with permissions.
Okay. Yeah, that's great, right? I mean, do you have any draft pull requests or something we can look on?
No, I've been busy with other stuff. So
Okay.
in particular, I need to delve more into the single binary because that's what's going to be required for their implementation and their planning. We can make some flags. I could make those pull requests that require a policy to exist, but we'd need to get a little further on before we require the operating system integration. So that would require that the policy file also have a sidecar certificate file. So we can ship those two independent of single binary, but I don't think anybody would use those flags ever without this integration.
Okay. All right. That's great. I will take some notes about it. I think the guys from Microsoft might want to listen to it. Yeah, that's very good. I think it might overlap depending on the. I will let it to discuss when we talk about the permission model, but yeah. The next issue in your agenda is the automate update of all dependencies. So we can talk about the permission model. Marco?
Yeah, I've been working on the automation of LL-HTTP. It has been merged. Also, I don't remember if NG-HTTP2 was merged before last working group, but also that one was done. So the additional step is either backport the LL-HTTP to previous versions such as 16, or we can do that later.
Yeah, I think it won't work anyway because the tools, the scheduler only works on the main branch. So even if you backport, it won't be triggered. Okay. One thing we can do is to create an action that accepts a workflow dispatch, and in that workflow dispatch, you pass the branch.
Yeah.
So that might work.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that for now we can land everything to the main and just create manual backports. And once all the dependencies were addressed, I think we can work in the backports, like how to automate. I'm pretty sure the action that we have would need to be splitted in several YAML files, because I don't think that that's generic enough to make it happen, but we can discuss later. Like,
definitely, I've noticed that at the end of the day, many dependencies need a particular YAML file, so probably it's better to split them all. Also, if what could be the next one I can work on? Next dependency, there is any priority or.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I think you are working on the OpenSSL one, right?
Yeah, I finished the. I think it was merged. I don't remember. Let me
The
check.
OpenSSL, I think, was not merged. Let me check here. DBUV.
Wait.
Okay, it's here. No. Is this commit that should be here? OpenSSL here. Yeah, it's still open. Okay, we are just waiting for micro review. I think it can land.
Okay.
Okay. The next issue is the permission model. Basically, this issue is now closed. I have closed it yesterday, but there's one thing I've included to the meeting, that is the permission roadmap that the issue 898. Let me include to the minutes. It was closed as completed, since it was landed in the main branch. And now we have some roadmap, a roadmap to discuss it, how we implement it, and how to make it happen with package manage efforts. And that's one thing that I think would be included in the same discovery or research you were doing, Bradley, because I think at some point the permissions will need to be read from a file, and we will need to evaluate if we should have a policy.json, if we read this from a policy.json or a permissive.json, or at least a package.json, which might make sense at least.
So I can 100% guarantee you it should not be in package JSON. 100%. And I can explain in a very simple scenario.
Okay.
Okay. Say you have a command line application that you want to read to the file system, and you don't want it to be able to access the network. This seems a fairly common scenario. If you upgrade the dependency, it could change its permission levels. So it becomes updating your package JSON is a threat. So you definitely don't want them there for that reason. Second, if a dependency author, if the author of ESLint is in control of what permissions that their command line is given, that means that you want a secondary way to limit those permissions as a maintainer admin. So you still want it as a site out of band for that reason. Third, we're gonna get into a scenario. I'm gonna share something in the chat here in the minutes. We wrote a doc on basically how chaotic this was for finding an implicit policy location. You get into things where for a process level permission, which is what policies are, it's what permissions currently are.
Yeah.
You have nested locations with package JSONs that conflict with each other.
But that's not a problem with the package manager instead of the standardization, because I mean, for instance, the example you mentioned is like, okay, what about updating a package and that the package updates their dependencies in the package JSON, and it can exploit something. But what if when I update the package, they have a post install or any script that will update the file anyway?
That's a different attack vector. That's a completely different discussion. That would be controlled by the package manager running the install script, which several don't anymore at all. So it would be a different discussion.
Okay. So you were saying that basically that, okay, it's the only way to go is either permissions.json or include it as part of the policy.json, right?
Well, it could be any file. It just, for a variety of threat reasons, you increase your threats by putting it in package JSON. It just makes things very difficult. So for example, you could imagine a world where there's different permissions for post-install scripts versus after that during runtime. And package JSON just isn't built for that kind of behavior. And it makes it very difficult to co-locate. For policies, you literally cannot co-locate because you can't make an integrity of itself. But even regardless of that, there are a variety of examples where it's just a privilege escalation in a bunch of cases where you, as an admin, the person running npm install, don't really control it. Because the author of the package controls their package JSON. And that package JSON could be used by a package manager to say, create this permissions.json. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
But that way, when you upgrade, the package manager can see, oh, this adds permissions to permissions JSON. We should probably warn. This conflicts with permissions JSON. We should probably do something. Having it in package JSON is an unwise choice, is what I would say. It is an easy choice. It is a simple choice, but it opens a variety of weird things.
Okay. Okay. That's a great discussion. Well, one of the plans for the permission model is to adapt or to make package manager support it, right? Like I don't want currently, if you install a package, regardless if you run your application with policy or experimental permissions, if you install a malicious package, it can do whatever they want in the install phase, right? And
so kind of. So a variety of things ban the install phase. So it's only if you use npm's default configuration and yarn's default configuration that you're fully exposed to that kind of attack.
yeah.
So that is a thing where the package manager needs to stop running shell commands. And I don't think anything we do is really going to prevent them from doing that. Because if you run a shell command with Python, this is not going to cover it.
Yeah.
That just changes, oh, I can't run node directly. I have to run Python to open node.
So you are saying that there is nothing we can do on the Node.js side to prevent it, or it's like
no, I'm saying that the package manager would be responsible for that protection.
All right, yeah. So, but even knowing that, okay, it's a package manager responsibility, I think that we can coordinate or at least try to make it happen because, well, it will be a huge breaking change if we just remove post install or any other script, right? But I think we can do it granularly with permissions, policies, or a few things in the next major or the next one.
Yes, but it won't be in the node runtime. It will be in the npm executable itself that does this. And that's fine. I agree. That's a good direction, and it's a possible direction. But without things like an implicit location of the permissions, executing Python and then just executing right back into node would evade the permissions model.
Yeah, that's expected, right? Like no doubt here.
So with Microsoft's integration, it would fail. You would need to sign both, and the signature could fail because it refuses to sign something with the proper permissions.
Yeah.
It's not a lost cause. It just, we can't do it in band. It has to be done out of band.
Got it. Yeah. So yeah, we need to debate. I will probably open an issue to discuss about this, maybe this integration or just this collaboration with package manager too. I think that, as you said, it's totally unrelated to permission model because it's the package manager fault. They allow users to run executables during the installation. But I think we can find the middle, or at least it will be just a good debate for future plans.
I agree. One of the good examples is the vast majority of scripts are node scripts that are executed during these. And so having a flag that if you are currently in a package, the one that is running npm I or npm exec, having some behavior that forces the next package to only execute installation scripts via node, which would force the permissions model, it would be fine. That would cover a significant portion of all of npm from what we've seen at socket. And most of the other things that are not executing node are questionable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good debate. I will try to create this issue very soon and invite the NPM folks for the next meeting if they want to do a separate session. I can also comment in the issue. But yeah,
I can state we have some stuff on our personal roadmap that would align with this as well. So we might be able to invest some company hours to actually do dev work for once.
You mean the company you work on, or
yes, socket security?
Oh, okay, that's great. That's great. Very good. That's aligned with the OpenJS Secrets Foundation as well. So yeah, we can do something very good. Well, okay. The other thing in the roadmap is beside those two are actually those three are just technical debits, so to say. I can solve it not very quickly, but I can solve it. And I'm also planning to include a few new permissions. For instance, the NAT. I want to deny access to a specific TCP package on a specific port, or I want to allow access to a specific protocol on a specific port. I think we can do it. But
is that going to include interfaces?
Sorry?
So IPv6, etc., supports connectivity over specific interfaces. It's not super widely supported, but at the same time, when you make connections, you can declare which network interface device you are using for the connection. So you might want to enable any connection over a trusted network device and very limited connections on the public network device.
Yeah, you mean by specifying a DNS or just a MAC or something, right?
It's sometimes you see the acronym IF for interface. IPv6 short links have it after a %sign. So if you do ifconfig in your terminal, you might see something like EW0 on a Mac for your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so you could, for example, prevent Wi-Fi from talking to most of the internet.
Okay. Yeah.
Only a hardwired connection.
But why do you think this is useful for developers?
So a application developer will think it is a nightmare, but for the most part, when you are talking to something inside a virtual LAN, you only want to talk to a approved thing. And this is what people usually create firewalls around. Sometimes you have a DMZ device, which basically has unfettered access to the internet, and it's there for a variety of reasons. I can say this doesn't need to be done in the first implementation. It just needs to be okay to like look forward.
Okay, but you are talking about production apps, right?
Yes, only production apps I realistically would imagine use this.
Yeah,
and only in cloud virtual LAN environments.
Yeah. Well, I have a mixed feelings when we talk about a permission using the permission model in production, because I really feel that most of the use case that the permission model covers would be easily handled by EAM or any low level or at least machine level permissions. So
Sure, but you want to reproduce those scenarios locally usually. I don't think you need to. It's just something you should look at while you're creating this.
yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, the new idea or the new feature would be the NAT and the environment variables. But again, talking about NAT, I'm thinking about different implementations. I saw long time ago Cillian that is based on eBPF, and they just dropped the package based on certain rules, which is totally zero overhead to the interface. So it means if you use the permissions, if you don't want to send packets or to receive packets from a specific protocol on a specific DNS, you can do it without sacrificing your performance. I feel that if we do it on the JavaScript or C++ land, in node.js, we will give away of at least 5% of the performance. In some case, that's not worth it. So for Linux users that contains eBPF, we can select to use the eBPF way, maybe? Or do you think that that's too tricky to maintain?
I don't know how other people feel about it, but if performance is your goal, I would put it in your firewall rules.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go through that.
Yeah, I mean,
complexity.
My idea is just the permission model is something focused on security, but as most of the things security focused, we normally give away from performance, and I don't think that we need to have this trade-off. You know, I like to have performance, and I also like to have security. I don't want to improve security reducing the performance or vice versa. You know, and that's my intention. But yeah, if,
well, I think if that's your goal, shipping it with a performance degradation is fine, and allowing some protocol for something controlling eBPF, a separate process, would be fine.
maybe
so you could say
too complex, right?
It's very complex, but once you get or the eBPF involved,
Yes.
then it's going to become complex.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that we recently dropped the trace and eventually eBPF support on Node.js on the 19, and I'm trying to bring it back, but it's been hard. So I think yes, this path will be definitely complex and you'll be time consuming, but I don't say that that's not worth it. I will do some research, but yeah.
So an alternative would also be you could have a tool that generates your IP tables or eBPF rules
Yeah.
from the permissions.
That's great, actually. But
We did that, oh, I don't know, back at Node Source, essentially. That was what, 7, 8 years ago.
okay.
And it worked out fine.
Yeah, the problem is that this is stateful, right? If the Node.js application crashed or something, it means that the IP tables will still be there, right? We won't clean up.
So you can do a trick to add the process ID. So it would only be per process ID that it.
Okay.
runs.
Yeah. Eventually, if a process opens a new fresh machine with these IP tables, it might be, yeah. That's a good one, I guess. Well, it seems way simpler than implementing something on Node.js directly, you know.
Most likely. But Node could still ship something in JavaScript and leave it to another person to create that tool.
Yeah, and I don't think that the IP tables will work will be cross-platform compliant. I mean, all the platforms that we support, like Raspberry.
So, yeah, but the point is it doesn't have to be IP tables. It could be firewall rules for Windows. They
Yeah,
actually have a programmatic API and things like that.
that's quite interesting. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it was a good discussion. I will comment in the issue and also in the minutes most of the things we talked about today. I will try to remember. I will need to listen to all the minutes again, and that's it. Does anybody have anything to talk about, or we can close? I think we are good, right? Okay. So thank you guys for joining. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, Lager, for your first participation. Hope to see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye.